Live from the Scruffy Womp Rat Cantina, this is Under the Twin Suns.
Welcome back to Under the Twin Suns in the Scruffy Womp Rat Cantina. It is I, Cole. I'm back. Thanks for having me back. I missed you guys. I saw the last week's episode, and Steve did a phenomenal job of helping out and being the amazing, handsome co-host he is. But yeah, I'm back with Steve,
Thank
Ruben, and
you.
Jonathan this week.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hello.
Interesting intro topic to start off with, guys. Is there any card you'd like to see banned from Twin Suns? Like maybe it's a card you hate or something that you feel is overpowered. For me, it might be Super Laser Blast because I've been playing a lot of Commander lately. Let me explain. So in Commander, it's a lot easier to recover from a board wipe, and things can continually get more interesting upon a board wipe. I feel like Star Wars, it's different, and a board wipe is much more catastrophic and almost unrecoverable, especially late in a game of Twin Suns. And if someone's ramped into that ape, maybe. So I guess the only card that I could think of in Twin Suns that like actually makes me go, well, crap, it might be Super Laser Blast, but I don't think it should be banned because I don't think it's unfair. But that's my like card that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, Super Laser Blast. I mean, I don't know. Getting to 8 resources
It's 100% fair,
typically.
exactly, for 8
Yeah,
resources especially.
but yeah, I don't know.
It's nice to know there's an out. It's nice to
Yeah.
know that there is an out to everything. Like, there's no crazy. There's no amount of this board state can get to that I can't answer with one card. I like knowing that that's in there.
Yeah. Hmm.
How about
All
you
right.
guys?
I'll go next. I will start with anything that ramps.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than anything is that it just puts a big target on your back. Like, oh, you got more resources than I do.
It really
You're gonna be
does.
able to play more units or more events and all that fun stuff. It's more of a casual joke about it, but I really don't know that there's a card right now that I would ban at the moment. But for me, it'd be ramping, like Spark of Hope or Resupply, and I don't know. It's more of a fun band for me, but as of right now, I guess anything that impacts my board that I don't like, I want to ban. Is that fair? Can I say that?
Absolutely. Blue's gone.
Keeping the theme of blue alive. I'm with Ruben. There's no card I would ban. Um, but a card that I hate is the dang Village Protectors. I roll my eyes every time somebody plays Village Protectors in Twin Suns because it's like, okay, great. They have a Sentinel that we have to attack twice. Like, nobody's going to attack them. But now if somebody does, we have to attack them twice. Like, it just irritates me. Whenever somebody plays that card, I'm like, especially Ruben because he plays it and then Ray bumps it, so
Yeah.
now it's bigger.
And it
It's a
might
good
take a
point.
second swing because he'll heal it off Obi-Wan.
Oh, right, exactly. Or
Trigger
shield it.
warning. Trigger warning.
Not Steve, you're 100% right. I actually changed my answer. Jonathan, how about you? Anything that's makes you just
The
go crap?
Yeah, it kind of combines both the blue and the board wipe of Snoke.
Oh, that was another one I had in my head.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could see
that
that.
one's
Yeah.
especially as someone who
But
plays a token deck, that one hurts.
yeah, and like you said, Cole, it's not necessarily that it's unfair, right? It's just that with the shorter games, unlike Magic Commander that can go for hours, Star Wars doesn't.
Yeah, I literally played a
So
game
you're
that
just
was
Yeah,
like,
two and a
good
well,
half
point.
hours today.
this is a turning point. All right, how do we deal with it?
Yeah, and I 100% agree with what you're saying, Jonathan. Because like what I said with Super Laser Blast is the exact same. Like it's game changing. It's expensive, so you have to get there. But it doesn't. It also doesn't feel unfair. It's just one of those things that goes, oh, okay, that changes everything.
Yep.
Let us know below if you have any cards like that. All right, main topic. Steve, I'd love for you to kind of kick us off here because I understand the general, but I don't want to speak out of turn and get incorrectly. I understand there's some kind of drama regarding a specific community at an event recently. Is that correct?
Yeah, you know me, I love drama. Um,
Drama.
I'm just the
Sorry.
drama queen. The regional event had a top four with a little bit of drama, where the top four were 3 out of the 4 were all members of the same testing group, the KTOD group, and then they had a fourth guy who made it on his own. There was a little bit of drama because in the top 4, 2 of the KTOD players got matched up, of course, and one of them just straight conceded to the other one. And that player, Wu, who ended up winning the thing, some people believe that it just was bad sportsmanship. You know, like now all of a sudden he has an hour and a half break. He says he didn't use that break to just do anything but pace and worry. But I mean, let's be honest, if he had to use the bathroom or he was hungry, he had plenty of time to get a bite to eat. Or it's rough on the other guy who has to play through all of it and doesn't get that break. I saw some rumors that the 3 of them got together and decided like who was the best, because the fourth guy was playing Cad Red, and
Interesting.
there were some rumors. There were some rumors that because the guy who conceded, Alex, he was playing Sabine and Wu was on Kira. And I don't know if I believe this or not, but some people say that he conceded to Wu because they felt like Kira was a better matchup for Cad. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like
Sometimes the
Sabine
internet
and
stretches
Kira is
things.
pretty close.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like there might have been reaching a little bit, but I definitely do think it's not a very good look. Like, essentially, your top 4 was a 3v1 because it didn't matter who won that. A member of their testing group won. You know, I feel like that was their goal, and if that's the goal, you know what I mean? Like, it's a 3v1 at that point. We just have to make sure that guy doesn't make it. I just did not. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good for viewership. Like, we want to see these top players
Yeah.
play. It's kind of the whole point. And if you're conceding, what's the point? You know, like you might as well you just might as well just decide who wins at that point. You know, we want to see more games and we want to see high level games. So it just wasn't a very good look. I feel like it doesn't set a very good precedent. I don't know how we fix that as a community. I don't know how we, you know, I mean, I feel like they did a great job. They got 3 out of the top 4 were all
Yeah.
of the same groups. I mean, they played amazing. So how do you stop that? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Just wanna make
Ruben,
sure
as
I'm
someone who
understanding
has
it.
a
Was
better
that
understanding of the judge rules and the rulings, like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, they can't force some. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just guess my question is, was this a top cut when he intentionally, or was this during the Swiss, like a high Swiss round?
No,
I just want
this
to
was
make
the
sure.
top cut.
Wait,
This is the top
No
cut.
final.
They made the top 4. It was the top cut, and I mean, because I know it happens a lot in
so he
Swiss,
conceded the
and
game.
and
He
it kind of
conceded the game,
he just
and
straight
which
conceded. Yeah,
basically, well, the rule states you can concede at any time. Um,
yeah, because you can't force somebody to play. I
yeah,
mean, man, you want to go home, but
yeah.
you made it to the
But
top 4 of a regionals, and you're just gonna be like, I don't want to play.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of a crazy look.
it's kind of that gray area because the rule states
Yeah,
you can concede at any time, and of course if you're playing against someone that, and here's the thing, this is the way I look at it, and people can call it what it is, but I don't watch this sport, but NASCAR does this, I believe. If you are racing and you're on the same team and some guy is either in second place or whatever, and they, one of your teammates that can pass you just to get better ranking, so you can get actually into the
Yeah.
thing, it seems like something that gets done. I don't know why I picked
it's
NASCAR,
like
but that's what
collusion.
But that
You
actually
know,
is probably the best example, Ruben. I think you actually nailed the
um,
hit the nail on the head.
yeah, and it's kind of like, to be fair, and I'll be the devil's advocate in this, even if there's top 4 people and 3 of the 4 got there, and a guy's like, I'm gonna concede because, hey, for whatever reason, that is, it's hard to say that it was hearing it from that. Like, I don't know all the specifics, and based off of what it said, it's kind of hard to be like, as a judge there, you can't say, well, you're conceding the game because I think you were doing this. Now, if the judge heard something like, yeah, I'm gonna concede because I think you have a better matchup, that's different. Um, but this is really hard to kind of say, hey, this is you can't do this, because that's that gray area of it's in the rules.
And as it was a little funny. They had actually released a video today interviewing the players and didn't mention this at all, which was a little
Oh.
strange, I thought.
Oh wow,
I
really?
mean, Wu did put out
Yeah.
Wu did put out a video where he talks about it, and he's like, "Look, I know there was some drama," and he's like, it was not planned. He said that he used that hour to just pace frantically and worry about his next game.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't really blame. I mean, I think Wu did fine. I mean, I don't really blame him. He's not the one that conceded, but
Mhm.
I do think that it does I don't know, it just doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I can see the perception of this.
Mhm.
It's the perception. It's perception versus reality. No one was there. I mean, those who were there, it's tough because we can view it from the outside looking in. Um, and of course, opinions is what we do, is what we talk about. But yeah, it's tough, man. Honestly, it's tough. That's the biggest thing. I mean, again, it's within the rule set. How do you fix something like that? I mean, if they say in the top cut you can't intentionally concede, then okay. But then again, how do you could just be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a card, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything in my turn. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything in my turn. I'm not gonna do anything in my turn.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
tough. It's tough.
Like,
So I
look,
agree with.
my wife's broke down on the side of the road. I gotta leave. I gotta go. No, you have to play this game. You can't leave.
You can only scoop at sorcery speed,
Lock
actually.
the doors.
I agree with everything Ruben said. I don't know enough about the situation. It doesn't seem like a great look to me, but obviously, like, I'm not one to pass judgment on something I don't have. I wasn't there to see it. I will say, how do we fix this? Was one question Ruben brought up. There's a rule in Magic tournaments that you can't collude with your opponent to split a prize, because then you're both disqualified. I don't know if that would be a helpful rule, or if that even
Well, there
plays
is
into
that
what we're
rule,
talking about.
and there is that rule about
Okay.
collusion and stuff like that, but it has to be, you know, stated like, oh, or someone heard something or someone
Okay,
did
I see what
something,
you're
that
saying.
it has to be literally, it has to be caught, or it has to be discussed, or anything along that line. If the person sat next, like if I sat next to you, Cole, and we were playing a game, and I knew in my head what everything looked like, because I looked at the standings, I looked at all the stuff, and I see how things are gonna go, and I say I'm conceding it. Who's gonna say that I'm colluding?
It's
Who's
fair.
going to say, or who's going to think I'm colluded? It's all about that.
No,
The, the way it is in the rules, it's you as a judge, you have to determine the intent of what happens. If they
Mhm.
determine the intent was not malicious, then it goes to it. So that's the ruling that they had there. So
then I guess I don't know how to fix it. Um, and maybe there's nothing to fix. Maybe it really. You know what? I'm gonna be positive, Cole, for a second. Maybe the guy had to go do exactly what Steve said. His wife broke down on the side of the road or something, and he never told anyone. And it's just a lot of coinky dinks. But at the same time, I do think that it's not a great look. Um, but once again, we've all already kind of said we weren't there. We don't know what happened. Anyone else have any other closing thoughts?
if I ever play against Steve, I will let him concede
Oh,
first.
I'm colluding. Oh, I'm colluding. It's gonna be
Um,
crazy.
I'm 100% gonna ask for you to concede.
Okay, and we'll call a judge
See,
over.
Yeah,
just
exactly. We're fighting over who should concede.
Pull out a chess clock.
Oh my.
Say, we're gonna make this game interesting. Let's go.
Dude, that would be kind of funny if it
Yeah.
started being a time limit on turns. That would actually be really stressful. So let's get off of the drama and onto a little bit more of a positive topic. So obviously Twin Suns is the premier multiplayer format of Star Wars Unlimited. But there's other TCGs that have multiplayer format. Obviously I've mentioned Magic Commander probably a couple times today. And there's a couple modes like Archenemy, Two-Headed Giant. I don't know what Plane Chase is, Ruben. You can explain that one. But for me, the multiplayer format that I want to see is none of these. Ruben, what was the thing we used to play? Was it Galactic Conquest? Was that what it was called? Dude,
Yeah.
that was so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, with these different formats that people come up with, and they're trying different things out. There's so much, there is some room to be creative with it, and I guess one of the things that I would like to do too is, I'm not sure if it's a Twin Suns way of doing it, but Winston drafting.
What is that?
I'm not sure if it's basically you get 2 packs and you build a deck from it. It's one deck that you put in the middle, and then you flip over cards and you pick cards based off of the pile you want. If you don't pick a card, you put another card in the pile, and you keep doing that until you pick the cards. It's a little bit more to it, but basically it's a different way of drafting the game and building a deck, and you're basically using one main deck to get your cards.
Oh, that is interesting.
And I think if let's just say, for example, we picked, I don't know, how many cards are 19 or 9 packs or something. You can put them, you open them all up, you put them right, you take all the bases out, you put the leaders out, you put all the cards in the middle, and you start doing piles of them, and you start drafting cards that way. I think it'd be kind of a fun way of trying something different instead of literally just drafting one card here, one card there. But yeah, I just think that with the game the way Twin Suns is, and the way they can do, you literally could do so much with this, and just how you want to play. Two-headed giant, emperor. Like if you play Magic, emperor is basically two-headed giant, but with one extra person in the middle that you have to, basically protect the emperor with your generals or whatever you call them. And it's like the Galactic Conquest that we did. It's kind of, it's I like the multiplayer aspect of it, especially when you have more than just, it's not just a one, four free for all. It's like, okay, these two versus these two, it just adds so much to the dynamic of the game, especially when you decide to build a deck that is, okay, you can't have this deck, you can't have this card in here because this person has a card in there. I mean, again, I could talk about the different ideas of that, but it's just like, not only do you think about these ideas, but trying them out and playing it and seeing how it works is one of the coolest thing. And what we did the last pre-release that we did that Chaos Twin Suns sealed event, which was freaking awesome. So yeah, I think I talked about like 4 different formats, but yes, the answer is yes. I would love to do this all the time, different
All of
kinds,
the
different
formats.
formats, all of it.
Give them all to us. Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. I mean, that Chaos Twin Suns, man, I really
much
hate
fun.
that I missed that because that sounded like so much fun. Arch Enemy is another one that I've thought about. Like, we could definitely make that work. I think for SWU, have like
Heavy
Arch
control
Enemy
deck.
cards where you're like the Emperor, and you can have all these thematic. Like, there are so many ways you could be creative with this deck or this format, or making new formats, but.
Jonathan, any thoughts?
I'd be curious to like tweak the Twin Suns format and see like, okay, if we want a longer game, do we just add health to bases? Do
Yeah.
we, resource 2 things every turn instead of
Oh, that
one?
could be fun.
But then you have to draw like maybe 3
Imagine.
cards or 4.
Yeah, that's one of the formats, or that's one of the things that when we were playing at the sector qualifiers, one of the FFG creator guys, gosh, I can't think of his name all of a sudden. I apologize. Really nice guy.
Ron, right?
Ron.
Ron, that's
Was it
it.
Ron?
Yeah, he said, yeah, that's what they started doing because, you know, you have all these cards that are higher cost that no one gets to play. Adding 10 more health to the bases will be something that, you know, would help kind of make the game a little bit longer, meaning you're able to play more resources. Um, it just it'd be a cool way of doing it. For example, if you have Data Vault, you have what, 43
43.
health instead of 33. If you're playing a 30 point, you have 40, or 25, you have 35, which adds a little bit more to it. So
Colossus
I
base,
think
you
in
have
our
45.
and I think in our circle, we should try it out and see how it
I
goes and
want
see
to,
what
yeah.
kind of feedback we get. So, I would be down to doing that next time we play. Is just to add that 10, like Jonathan says. It's something that they are doing inside the FFG with, you know, playing that or just trying something different, because he did mention something that, you know, they had that thought in mind with these bases being the health what
Mhm.
they are, is that trying to get a little bit more oomph when it comes to your twin sons game and actually them lasting long, because we know as our group that our games tend to get to 6, maybe 7 resources for it's pretty
Mhm.
much done.
And I guess even bringing back to our intro topic, how do we like make board wipes feel good because you can recover from them afterwards? Is there a way to do that?
There's actually a card that allows you to do that. It's a green, it's a command villainy card. I can't think of the name, but it says return into play all
Em-
cards that
Emperor's
were
Legion.
Yeah,
Emperor's Legion.
Emperor's
That
Legion.
brings, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's just there's ways we could just make up a rule and try it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best thing. It's like, okay, if you get board wiped or whatever, or maybe it'll be like one of those things where, you know, you play Commander, like if you play Magic, and someone counterspells you, like, come on, bro. You know, it's like
You don't want to
we're
do
here.
that.
Why do you want to counterspell it? I don't know. It's kind of makes me kind of think of things like, you know how in Commander where if your commander gets defeated, you have to pay 2 extra
Yeah.
to bring it
Mm-hmm.
out. Maybe same thing in here. If your leader gets defeated, if it costs 6, next time it costs 8.
Oh,
You'd
that could
have
be
to have 8
fun.
resources or something like that. I don't know. Just, I mean, there's so different ways. Like that plane chase you were talking about, Cole. It's basically a card that you roll a die, and then this effect happens to the whole board state.
Oh, interesting.
So if let's just say you can do like 10 different things or 8 different things, you roll a d8, d10, and boom, this happens. Okay, well, everybody in space takes 1 damage or something along that line. But you can basically, you know, it has like a global effect of what happens on the board.
That's cool. All right, well, let us know below what other multiplayer formats you would want to see or any ideas you've had that you want us to try out. Ruben, I believe you've picked a card for our lore corner. Would you like to tell us?
Yeah. One of my favorite things about Star Wars is not just because of the cool, you know, space battles and, you know, the lightsaber duels and all that fun stuff, but Porgs.
Mm.
I mean, they are the cutest thing. Like when I saw this in I think it was episode 8, you know, seeing these guys come out and just being so cute, and not only that, but the interaction they had with Chewie in the movie itself. I
Mm-hmm.
think Chewie was like actually cooked one of them or something like that, and he was cooking it or he was eating it or something like that. And the way they looked at him with those eyes, that just like it just literally just melts your heart and everything like that. But I wanted to pick this card because the Porg right now there is a 0 drop. It is a 1/1. And the picture of the card is so funny because it
Mm-hmm.
shows like the porgs are looking, you know, in a different direction, but there's this one porg at the very bottom of the card. It's kind of like he's just
So
leaning
derpy.
over and like looking out.
Dude, you know we're gonna get a collector card of this. I can't
Oh
wait
my
for that card.
Mm-hmm.
gosh. And it is like when I saw the card, I was like, you know, it's pretty funny. But also one of the interesting facts that I did a little bit of a Wikipedia. The concept of the porg came from the real life puffins.
Yep.
They were like these small birds with the large beaks and stocky bills that were found near the movie site in Ireland. So that's where the inspiration came from. And I also read further in that the 2 porgs that were on the Falcon were stowaways named Puffy and Snappy that first appeared in a canon junior novel about stories told by Hondo Onaka, which involved Han, Chewie, and Millennium Falcon. And I was like blown away. I was like, "Whoa! I did not know that. That is really cool." And of course, there's so many novels. There's so many different, resources of Star Wars, and just learning about, the fact of this Porgs have a little bit more than, depth to them, just what I saw in the movies. But I just think they're cool. I think they're cute. I think those eyes are just, they're so, I don't know, they're great. And I remember when we were playing, back in the day, I was playing Star Wars Destiny. One of the guys we were in the podcast, the Chance Cube, he had real life, like a stuffed animal pork that was like so big that it was a like sat in the chair next to him. It was so funny. So it was one of those things where it's I every time I think of a pork, I just think it's such a great creature, and I just think it's one of the cute things. And then I got one of those little cute little porg little action minis or whatever at the sector qualifier from Travis, I believe his name was, who was from uh, Northern Virginia or Fredericksburg area. Can't think of the name, but he gave it to me after we were playing. I was like, bro, this was the best thing. I could lose every match now. I have this little porg. I'm good to go. So, but yeah, that's the story of why I chose the porg and why I think it's probably my favorite creature in the whole
That's a
game.
good card. I can't wait to play with it and give it a lightsaber.
Right?
Zoom, zoom.
All right, let's jump into my schizo rant about the market.
Mm.
Weirdly, I'm not gonna start with Star Wars this week because the things that have me excited this week is I know we're just in a little bit of a lull for Star Wars right now. I know July 4th weekend, right, Ruben, is when the next set comes out.
Correct.
Correct.
Pre-release,
Awesome.
yep.
So my fixation for the next 2 weeks will be on Magic the Gathering, because the Final Fantasy set is coming out on June 13th, and it's going absolutely insane. Currently, play booster boxes are going for over $180, and collector boxes are going for over $750 on TCG Player.
Oh my gosh.
And there are secret layers dropping next Tuesday, which is on June 9th, which I recommend if you have any interest in Magic the Gathering. I recommend buying every one of those secret layers because their prices are really well priced for the reprints that are coming out. And you also would get a free Gilded Lotus with that. But go ahead and check that out if you're interested in the secret layer drop. And then the Spooderman set pre-orders are starting because Spider-Man is the set in September for Magic the Gathering. And those numbers are looking to be equally, if not more expensive than Final Fantasy. Summary, Final Fantasy is going to be crazy. I can't wait. Star Wars Unlimited. Carbonite boxes for set 5 are up, and they're about $290 a pre-order, which is what we saw about last time. I think they'll probably stay. If we're to expect what happened last time, I don't know if you guys remember. Basically, what happens is it stays at like $290. People try to drop it off for a couple days at $270, and then it'll go up to like above $300 after a couple days after the release. Twilight boxes are still like $40, which I'm not shocked by. Honestly, this might not be a bad pickup because so many Jedi are going to get buffs from the next set that the Twilight set might actually go up in price. That's a big might. I don't feel super confident in saying that, but at a $40 a box, that's not a terrible roll. Shadow boxes have passed 70, which is good for them because I don't know if you guys saw, but Crate Dragons back to $20, Pose back to $40, Hot Shot Blasters like $15. Home 1 from set 1 is now $20, the green one. It was like $7 2 weeks ago, but now it's just been blowing up. I'm not sure which deck is using it, but clearly someone's using it. The convention packs have hit $310, which is cool. Command is only $10 a piece. Not a bad time to grab those. And then Devastators are also only $10 a piece. All right, Pokemon. Pokemon's in hot water again. They had a set drop the first availability for a pre-order the other day for Black and White. It sold out faster than ever before and are going for stupid prices online, which I will not even bother expelling out of my lungs what that number is. Destined Rivals released this week with better hit rates, which is awesome, but the scalper prices are still kind of crazy, so that's a no from me. However, on the bright side, singles should be cheaper because of the high hit rates, which I'm a big fan of. And as always, I have things to complain about in the TCG world, or just other random thoughts that I wrote down that don't fall in our big three categories. I'm done with PSA. Like, just straight up. I'm done. I sent my Kazuda and my Rio showcases in a couple months ago to get graded, literally the day after we pulled them at pre-release. And both of them received an 8, and there's legitimately 0 issues with them, which irritates me. So I'm done sending cards to PSA. I'm going to try a different grading service in the future. Especially because now GameStop has actually raised the PSA grading prices because they lost so many cards in transit. They lost money on this service instead of actually profiting, which is crazy. They lost so many cards, guys, that even though they graded, I think it was over 700,000 cards last year, they lost money because they lost so many cards. I know, it's just, you just gotta laugh.
That's
it's
crazy.
just so funny. Titty cards are coming out soon. Gamer Subs is dropping their V Rising cards. Just a random thought I had that I wanted to write down. Check those out if you're up at 3 a.m. for some reason. Okay. I know I complained about this a few weeks ago. I have come around. I kind of like the altered market. I have now sold all of my cards on the market for a huge profit. Well, not huge, but for a profit. I did kind of like the fact that I didn't have to ship any of the cards out, but I don't want this to become the new standard. Especially because there were a bunch of... The one thing I will complain about for the altered market is when you sell a card, there's a fee. When you buy a card, there's a fee. When you transfer money into your account, there's a fee. When you transfer money out of your account, there's a fee. There's just a fee everywhere. Yeah. But that's my quick little market report. Questions, comments, concerns? Okie dokie.
She said Pokemon's still in trouble.
I mean,
Still
like,
scalping.
trouble in the... I mean, yeah, the problem is people pay for it. Like, they're in trouble. It's just... Pokemon is one of those things that people love, man. Like, they're never going to stop. Like, I have a friend who told me he bought, like, 6 Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, which were, like, 120 a pop. And...
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's just...
People are just gonna
But yeah, it's
reward
the
behavior.
main problem right now is still the botting, which I've complained about, the scalping, which is bad, and the fact that even our local game stores are not getting supply just because the supply simply does not exist. But yeah, it's just a supply and demand issue. Everybody wants it, and they're willing to pay whatever. In fact, if you guys want to hear a funny fact about Pokemon real quick, there's a specific set, and I don't know if Jonathan watches openings like I do. So there's a set from Sun and Moon called Team Up. And Team Up, as early as, I think it was 5 months ago, maybe 6, were going for about $95 to $100 a pack, right? And then all of these people who do openings and chase cards opened so many packs of them in search for other cards that the price of the packs have now doubled. And the packs are now $200 in unopened. Because they have artificially killed the market by opening it all using the YouTube. Which is just crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. So if that gives you an idea of... The fact that people are paying... And here's the sad part, guys. $200 is not the most expensive booster pack people are opening. It's just crazy. Jonathan, you want to take over for our final and most question-based segment? Name that card.
Oh, I'm so ready.
What's that card?
All right, Jonathan, take it away.
Alrighty. For order, let's go Ruben, Steve Cole.
Sweet.
All right, let's get the hard question out of the way. What set is this from?
That's always a good one to start with.
This set is Twilight of the Republic.
All right, I really know that set. That's good.
All right. Well, is the mana cost of this card an even number that's between 1 and 7?
This card does not have an even mana cost between 1 and 7.
So that means it's either
Alright,
an
you're
odd
welcome.
cost or it's more than 7.
You're welcome,
I'm
guys.
so glad I have this information.
Oh my gosh.
Correct.
I have an easy question that helps me. Is it a weekly play card?
This is not a weekly play card.
Oh, crap. That doesn't help me. Well, I guess it helps me with 20 cards it's not.
What keywords does this card have?
This card has no keywords.
Ooh. So it might be an event. It might be an upgrade. It also could just be a crappy unit.
Yeah, vanilla unit.
Yeah. Maybe not crappy.
What are the tags, like the traits of this card?
Mhm. The traits is force. Just force.
Has no tags. It's a force unit. What are the colors?
It is cunning and villainy.
I am stumped.
You and me both.
Is this my question?
No, it's me.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, good.
Okay, villainy and that's Twilight. Okay, and who knows what the thing cost? Let's see. Is this an event or a ground unit?
This is an event or ground unit.
Guys,
Would you like me
why
to
are we getting
specify?
complicated? Like, I left for 1 week and I'm just kidding. Is this our last question? Crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is not. Dude, I'm just thinking of villains who have the force at this point. Steve, your question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we
No,
were
you're
you.
good. That's right.
Dang it. Last question, huh? Force.
And
Twilight.
it's yellow.
And it's yellow villain.
No, it's. I
This
thought you
is
said.
a good
Did you say
one.
it was? Did you say yellow? They said it was vigilance.
Cunning villainy.
Oh wow, I'm way
Yeah,
up.
cunning, yellow.
Yellow black.
Yellow black. Gosh. Okay, I'll ask it. What's the cost of this card?
This card costs 3.
Dude, what?
I'm so confused.
What? Like, what? It's not
Final
Asajj
question, so make
Ventress.
it a
It's
good
not
one.
Count Dooku. It's not Savage Opress. Alright, what question is going to help us here? Let me think for a second. We have the tags, we have the cost, we have the set, we have the colors. What do we need that would be even slightly helpful? What's the rarity, Jonathan?
This is a rare card.
What is this crap? Ruben, do you have any idea?
I had as much idea as the first question I did as the last question. So,
Understandable.
wow. So my guess here is.
Do
Wow.
we even know, like...
We know a lot of things. It's yellow-black. It's a 3 cost. It's a ground unit. It's a force unit. It has no keywords.
It's
It's
ground
an event.
or event.
It's an event or a ground unit, yeah.
Oh.
So it could be it's got to be an event because there's no ground unit I can think of.
Now I get it.
What the heck is this? It's not that one. I don't think it's that one. I just don't know this.
And it's a rare. What?
Yeah. Can I pass until it's like I'll pass and then if Cole gets it wrong, I'll jump back in. No. Jeez. I'm gonna say Bazine. I don't know. She's probably shadows. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you got me, Jonathan. You
Okay.
got me.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we can go back. Steve, you got a guess?
Yeah, but it's probably not right. I'm gonna say that you're pulling a fast one on us, and that it's the leader, Asajj.
Unfortunately,
Ooh.
she's also a separatist. And
Funny,
she's
but no,
4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing I got.
I know
Fair
I
enough.
don't know it. It's it's clearly it's a rare? Oh my god. I can see it. I
Describe
have
it.
no idea. Bro, I can describe to you the art. That's about it.
Do it.
Isn't
Do
it
it.
Maul like losing his mind after the Night Sisters help him? And it's like bro, I don't even know what it does. That's the only thing I know. I know the art. I can see
Go.
it. Unnatural Life. Unnatural Life.
There you
Final
go.
answer.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, I forgot about that card.
Dude, me too. Until I started thinking of, and then I thought about Maul, and then my head started clicking, and gears were shifting, and I was.
Man, I've recently
That's a
tested
good
with
one.
that card. I
No,
feel
that's a good
embarrassed.
one, Jonathan. That's a piece of crap card I've
That's a
never
really
used in
good
my
one.
life.
Good job.
See, your question too, I was like, it's not a weekly promo, but it technically was on the, it says RQ prize wall.
Oh, so it does have an alt art. That's funny.
It does have an alt art.
Well, look at me.
Good.
I get to choose a card next week.
Nice.
Good job.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And we'll catch you next week on Under the Twin Suns. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening, and bye-bye now.
Bye.